Alright, well, welcome to my end of 2025 base tour. My base isn't done, but I wanted to at least just get this recording out because I don't think it'll ever be finished, let's be honest. But my whole idea was to kind of have like a silo in the middle of an ocean. And so this is what I ended up with. I ended up building the top row of this circle out of glass, and then I had to drop many blocks of gravel down to dry out this whole space, and then ended up mining a bunch deeper down as well. Like I wanted it to be 50 blocks high. And the original inspiration, like I said, was kind of like a silo in the ocean, but I wanted like a spiral water slide going down the whole thing. So yeah, this is kind of like one of my favorite views too and I thought of like having a compass rose at the bottom, so the red side's pointing north. So I think the best way to start is to actually just go down the water slide. And so that's all made out of copper. And the other block is like polished diorite or diorite. And those were kind of the color palette that I was going for, was like this white and these light blues. So there's a lot of like, the wood is like warped wood from the nether. You'll see that, and like if these glowstone that are covered up and the lanterns. And the water slide goes all the way around the full loop. And you end up here. And so yeah, my idea was kind of like, I wanted it to be kind of like this, like, for lack of a better word, like an awe-inspiring, kind of like you come in, you look up, you see the sky, you see out into the ocean. There's like this waterfall coming down, and it splashes down on either side here. Under the glass floor here is gravel and other ocean stuff. So like fish can actually spawn in here. And so we're actually seeing some go in, so maybe I'll just go straight into my food farm. So like you saw, the fish will actually get sucked into here, hit these magma blocks. Like eventually I think this fish will come through here. He's so strong, such a good swimmer. There we go. So they hit those magma blocks, they die, they get moved over into this chest, and then the golems will sort them out. And so this is like, I just emptied this to do a bunch of villager trades for emeralds, and same with the cod. But so every once in a while I'll come in here, throw them into the smokers, and then I get my food. So I have a ton of food. Other mob drops, so like the bones, if for whatever reason like squids get in there, it captures all that stuff as well. And then if there's any refuse, it comes out through here. This room, this first room that we kind of breezed by, this was meant to be the armory. And so I want to use all of the different armor trims and get like each one of those represented here. So there's like 18 of these armor stands. I have not had the time or patience to actually do that yet, but I'm collecting a bunch of them. It's getting to be dark, so let's go take a quick nap. So this is like my bedroom. And I'm not the best decorator, but I'm actually pretty happy with how this room is turning out so far. I think there's still a lot more to do, but pretty happy with where it's at right now. We can drop back down to the first floor. So while we're in here, my vision for this is to like have the entire floor that is like walkable to be covered in these maps and like actually fill it out. So my world spawn was here, I ended up building before I knew enough about the game. Like I really wanted this to be in the middle of the ocean, but this is the spot that I picked. Like would have been way better somewhere over here where it was really surrounded. So that's kind of where I'm at. My initial like starter base was over here. And I graduated to like this aqua silo, I call it. So that's at like zoom level 2. To be even crazier, eventually I want to do the same thing in here, but at like zoom level 4, so zoomed out all the way. So this room's empty right now. I'll probably never finish that project. And finally, let's go to, this is my tallest tower inside of my building. Go up to the 3rd floor, which is the roof here. One of the things I hate about Minecraft is these wandering traders. I don't know how they can get to my base in the middle of the ocean, but they die and they leave their llamas behind, so I have them just penned up here till I get a trophy, and then eventually they're going to go away too. We'll get to this tower, but I kind of call that like my happy gas landing pad, so that's where my happy gas can hang out. Here I've got bubble columns that can just take me in and out of the base. So I can jump all the way up to the top, get this nice view, and then just immediately drop right back down. I did not know this when I picked the base location, but there's actually like an abandoned mine right up there that I found while I was digging below. So this is actually how I can get in there. And I just have like some hidden bamboo, and there's actually like a cave spider spawner. So kind of similar to the fish farm. You know, these things are just naturally collecting strings and spider eyes, and looks like sometimes some squid gets in there too. So I'm not happy with how this room is right now either, but it is functioning. And you know, here's like that mine shaft that I was talking about, so I can go spelunking in here too. I did just recently take down the wither for the first time, so you can see I've got my haste going, and I want to find a more elegant way, so I've got to kind of clean that up. I like literally just put the beacon in, but it's below the base, shooting up right in the dead center, so I kind of like that. I recently put in, what are these called? Not Heart of the Seas, but you know, whatever that artifact is that allows you to breathe and see underwater. So I actually installed one of those here, so around my base, which is really cool. I can, you know, I can jump into the water here. I've got, you know, infinite breathing and the undersea sight for like 90 blocks away from here, so that's pretty good range. And I actually am just started installing. Here's where I can dock my Nautiluses that I'm gonna eventually tame. So it's kind of like a Nautilus docking station. And then I want to have like a pathway where I can enter my base through here as well. So that's not done yet, but the idea is like I can go do some undersea adventuring, then dock my Nautiluses, and enter my base without having to like swim up to this main level here. Let's see, so we've covered in there. So now we're kind of into my second tallest tower. And so in here, my idea was kind of have like exotic plants and creatures. So I've got some of the allays, my dried ghast, a bunch of like stuff from the nether. Yeah, and it again, none of my rooms are finished, but if I waited till I was finished, I would never make this video. So let's go up to the second floor. The idea here is like this is my enchanting table setup. You know, fully powered, of course. Got all the lapis and stuff that I need to do enchanting here. And I want to make, you know, my alchemy station and decorate this, but again, not quite finished. And this is where I think I'll enter the base from that underwater cove that I showed. And finally we can go to the roof of this building to the Happy Gas landing pad. So there's my Happy Gas. Slow but steady. And we can take the water slide down to the last tower. You know, like I kind of, again with the color palette, I did want to have like some trees and like life. So I tried to build like a custom tree. I'm not like, again, terribly happy with how it turned out, but yeah, there's my custom nether tree. Yes, and then, you know, before the walls were very plain, and I don't know, maybe I overdid it a little bit, but I think I'm pretty happy with how it came out of. You know, I wanted like lanterns hanging down at like different lengths and heights, and then, you know, I did glowstone to keep the place lit up. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy. And then, you know, the spots where there was actually water, I left glass. And I might do something with that later, like make some kind of cool views out of here where there's actually glass. And I guess my idea with like this red tree is I like that the pixels actually move and kind of like flow. I sort of wanted this to look like this crack of like, I don't know, magical energy coming out of the ground there. And again, like I think from far away it looks better than up close, but you know, just trying some stuff. I'm not a huge builder. And then there's, of course, a portal to the nether so I can get to all my quick travel places. But through that, on the other side, is my storage room. So this is where I spend most of my time. Got a bunch of the different, you know, like crafting blocks, my ender chest. This, you know, I can either deposit items in this chest and these golems will get up to the sorter, or I've got like a shulker unloader here that will feed that chest as well. So I can bring in shulker boxes and just set them there and they'll unload. So if we go back, like here's the redstone that's like running the sorting system. You know, and eventually I'll get these all labeled, but you know, like cobblestones, just chests of cobblestone from hollowing this place out. Then I have like overflow storage if for whatever reason the cobblestone stuff fills up. So all different types of materials and like the trees and all their different permutations. jungles, you know, your birch, spruce, etc. And then once these bulk items, so things you get a lot of, like you're left with more of the unique things, will go into this chest. And a copper golem will take it and start feeding it into my copper golem sorting. And these guys are super slow, but I just wanted to like engage with the copper golem mechanic. So like there's food. There's really no rhyme or reason. Clay stuff, more food, nether stuff, copper stuff, loot, and so on. And like, you know, I think I'm only using like out to here basically, and then it starts to get really empty. So like nothing in there, nothing in there. So I've got lots of room for if I do more things. Potions in these ones. Should be another empty set. And then like my, I guess like my important loot ends up in this one. Then like I wanted to have like my enchanting things. And like my record collection, which I don't have very many of. If I ever want to play records there. I was pretty proud of this floor. Like I tried to like texture it like the fancy Minecraft builders. And if we go up, this one I'm pretty proud of. It's my garbage disposal. So like things like, you know, half broken bows that you can't do anything with, you can throw it in here and it just cooks them. See ya. This can help load my auto smelting system. So I can put like coal in here, it'll send it up and unload it into here. And then this is like my auto smelter. Okay, so I just ran it, but that will smelt all of like my leftover armors and stuff that I don't need, or other, you know, smeltable blocks, and it gets put right there. And I want to do some more, like, you know, like I want to do one of these with like smokers for food up here and other kind of useful like redstone stuff up in the top row of this storage one. And then finally, probably the last thing to demo is, you know, I've been calling it like the council, but it's going to be like my villager trading hall. And so it's the same thing. It's like this compass rose design, but with like a different color set. And I was really proud of this. Oh, I'm crashing. You know, like my floor kind of reacts to like where you're going and making noise. So I thought that was really cool. And then it's like, again, I like these, you know, these trees, they actually have like the pixels are moving. So I thought they're like, could be a cool wall. And so like, eventually, yeah, like I'll have all these villagers trapped here so I can do their trades and stuff and make a bunch of emeralds without having to go back to my home village. And then, you know, down here is my beacon, and I literally like just made that, so I don't even have like the walls up yet. I cleared it out, got it set up, and I'll have, you know, eventually I'll have better ways of getting in there than this scaffolding. There will be some kind of entrance through the back end of this portal. I think the entrance will be here to get down below the base there. So yeah, I think that about covers it. Thanks for watching.